So, of course, everyone has seen the meme of Squidward looking out his window, watching SpongeBob and Patrick having fun. In my opinion, it's one of the best memes of all time. There are some memes, like Bad Luck Brian back in the day, that are totally meaningless and pointless and don't really serve any purpose. But this specific SpongeBob meme is the most perfect meme ever to describe modern society. There are 5 different ways that this SpongeBob meme perfectly reflects the modern society that we live in. So, what are these 5 ways? The first way this meme represents real life is all young people are priced out of modern life. Whether it's being able to pay our own rent or going to a sports game or a concert, young people are just not participating in life nowadays because we can't. Young people can't afford to go to NFL or NBA games or concerts for famous artists. So for us, in a lot of ways, our life really is this meme. Think about big events like the NBA Finals. When I look at the crowd on TV, I never see anyone between the ages of 20 and 40. And if I do, they're a celebrity or some tech person. Everybody is either over the age of 40 or a child who was there because their parents paid for it. So although there are diehard fans who want to go to sports games and concerts, instead, we can't go, and all of these people with money who are there to network or whatever garbage they say, they get to go instead. And that's already bad enough. We can't even pay our own rent. When young people who live at their parents' house log on to social media and watch videos of people their age who made it big time and are living in mansions, they are literally the real life embodiment of the SpongeBob meme. And this brings me to my next point, which is social media is another great example of how our life is just this SpongeBob meme. Nowadays, a significant portion of people spend hours and hours and hours a day on social media. And this used to just be young people, but nowadays it's everybody. And it doesn't matter what specifically people are looking at. If they're not posting, all they are doing is recreating the SpongeBob meme. Obviously, it's really bad that people do this, but it's significantly worse for young people. Older people, at the very least, they've lived their life already. They were young and went out into the world and had fun before the era of smartphones and people being isolated. So even though there's a lot of older people who are on social media every day, and they are recreating the SpongeBob meme, it's still nowhere near as bad as the young people who are doing it. Young people every day choose to watch everyone else live their lives instead of living their own life themselves. Which that is quite literally what the SpongeBob meme is. Squidward is looking out the window, watching SpongeBob and Patrick having fun, just like all these people are on social media every day, looking at their phone, watching everyone have fun. Instead of looking out the window, it's just looking at their phone instead. And what I don't understand is that anyone who has been on social media for a long time now has watched thousands of people totally change their lives. These people on social media who change their lives and as a result are super happy, they are literally SpongeBob and Patrick, and the person watching them on their phone is Squidward. But for some reason, millions of young people choose every day to recreate the SpongeBob meme as Squidward instead of trying to be either SpongeBob or Patrick. Another way that people choose to be Squidward is by nonstop dwelling on the past and saying, oh, it's just nostalgia. Of course, one of the main reasons people do this is because of social media. The past few years, social media has been filled with posts talking about, gee, we had it so good, didn't we? But now it's all gone. In this scenario, they're still Squidward, and SpongeBob and Patrick are a representation of how they are looking back on the past. They think about the past and think about how they were happy, just like SpongeBob and Patrick are happy in the meme. I totally understand why a 75-year-old whose entire life is behind them would be nostalgic. Why are 21-year-olds on the internet talking about how amazing 2016 was? Like, dude, you were 11. You don't even remember anything. And if you do, you were 11. You didn't actually partake in anything. But for some reason, nostalgia on the internet has gotten so bad that most young people on the internet every day are constantly thinking to themselves, gee, the past was just so much better. Even though a lot of times they didn't even partake in the specific stuff that they're getting nostalgic about. Of course, part of this is just to fit in, but at some level, a significant portion of young people genuinely just want to go back to the past. So every day they mope around like Squidward, wishing they could go back to the past, thinking that would somehow make them SpongeBob or Patrick. And the worst part of this is that young people are completely in control of their own lives. There is no reason for a young person to be nostalgic when every day they can do stuff that they enjoy. But of course, way too many young people don't do anything besides look at their phone. So, unfortunately, they're just Squidward. A significant part of both social media and real life nowadays is miserable people watching happy people and getting angry that the happy people are happy. In that specific SpongeBob episode, in the 20 seconds after the meme that everyone knows, Squidward gets really angry. And of course, because he's Squidward, he's angry because these happy people are bothering him, and he considers it an inconvenience. I feel like a lot of people my age, growing up, they had several experiences where they and their friends were SpongeBob and Patrick, and then some Squidward walked up to them and tried to wipe the smile off of their face. What I will say, though, is at least usually Squidward is just honest that he's annoyed that SpongeBob and Patrick are being loud. In real life, most Squidwards make up some stupid reason as their fake justification for why they're trying to wipe the smile off of someone else's face. They're Squidward, but even worse because they try to take a moral high ground instead of just acknowledging that they're miserable. And of course, on social media, all the time, people will post their accomplishments and how happy and proud they are because they accomplished something, and some miserable hater will try and rain on their parade. They're literally just Squidward. I think actually the number one place we see this nowadays is in sports commentary, specifically on Twitter. I feel like all the 25-year-olds sitting on their couch who hate on the 25-year-old pro athletes are literally Squidward. Of course, a lot of adult men who watch pro sports, when they were kids, they wanted to be a pro athlete. So, the miserable and bitter ones go on the internet and prove to the whole world that they are Squidward. And it's funny, because without these people voluntarily going on the internet and posting hate for no reason, we wouldn't even know that these people are Squidward. But these people let the whole world know that when they watch sports, they feel like Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick. Whether it's social media or real life, unfortunately, nowadays, there are way too many miserable people who hate watching other people enjoy themselves. That is literally what the SpongeBob meme is. And the final part of how this meme represents real life is, in my opinion, the best part. Whether it's Squidward or a person, everyone has the choice to go outside and go somewhere else and do something else, instead of choosing to sit inside and be miserable. But I guess that's the entire reason that these people are angry. Squidward is angry because he wants to sit inside and do nothing all day. But because of SpongeBob and Patrick, he feels like he can't enjoy himself sitting inside and doing nothing all day. But it's actually impossible to be happy if you sit inside and do nothing all day. But nowadays, there are millions of people who every day choose to just sit inside and do nothing. In the 2020s, there are way too many people who, if they work, they go to their job, and that's it. Anytime they want to, they could do something else, but they don't. So whether they realize it or not, they end up spending their entire life as Squidward. I have watched people a few years older than me spend their entire 20s choosing to be Squidward. And now they're in their 30s and they have no choice. Whether they want it or not, they are going to be Squidward for the rest of their lives. These people, anytime they wanted to, They could have gone outside and done something else. But instead, they chose to sit inside, stare at their phone, be nostalgic and miserable, and ultimately be the real life embodiment of Squidward in the SpongeBob meme. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. This has been Weedified. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you all next video.